5 people vanished from the same Vermont wilderness in 5 years. A hunter, a college student, a war veteran, a little boy, a hiker. Locals call that corner of the Green Mountains the Bennington Triangle. I'm Walter Graves. I investigate true unsolved cases and strange disappearances with a reporter's discipline and a filmmaker's sense of pacing. Chapter 1, Mitty Rivers, 1945. Our story begins in November 1945. 74-year-old Mitty Rivers was no stranger to the Vermont woods. A seasoned hunter and fisherman, he knew the Green Mountains better than most. That day, he was leading a group of 4 hunters into the hills near the Long Trail, a rugged hiking path that snakes across the spine of Vermont. The group trusted him. He had guided trips like this dozens of times before. But that afternoon, he would never return. As they made their way down a trail near the Bickford Hollow area, Mitty walked ahead of the group. Not far, maybe a few minutes ahead. When the others turned a corner, they expected to see him waiting. Instead, the path was empty. At first, they thought he'd gone just a little farther. But minutes stretched into an hour. And soon, dread began to sink in. A massive search began. Hundreds of volunteers scouring the woods, calling his name. They combed rivers, valleys, even helicopter flyovers. The only trace? A single rifle cartridge, possibly dropped by Rivers. But Mitty himself was never found. No footprints, no clothing, no remains. It was as if the woods had swallowed him whole. Chapter 2. Paula Welden, 1946. A year later, in December 1946, the Triangle claimed another. Her name was Paula Jean Welden, an 18-year-old sophomore at Bennington College. Paula was bright, artistic, a little restless. That Sunday afternoon, she decided to clear her head with a hike. She put on a red parka, jeans, and sneakers, and told her roommate she was heading to the Long Trail. She never came back. Witnesses reported seeing her along the trail. A couple recalled watching her walk ahead of them before she turned a corner and vanished from sight. Another man gave her directions earlier that day. When she didn't return to her dorm, alarm bells rang. A search effort unlike anything Vermont had seen before unfolded. Thousands of volunteers, the National Guard, even FBI involvement. But the weather turned brutal, freezing temperatures and snow. Days passed, and not a single trace of Paula was found. Her disappearance shocked the state and the nation. Her face, a young woman in a red coat, stared out from newspapers across the country. A symbol of a mystery no one could solve. Newspapers across the country carried her photo, a smiling young woman in a red coat gone without explanation. Her case also exposed Vermont's lack of organized search and rescue at the time, leading to reforms in the years that followed. But Paula herself, she was gone. To this day, no body, no belongings, nothing. Chapter 3. James Tedford, 1949. 3 years later, in December 1949, the Triangle produced perhaps its strangest case yet. James E. Tedford, a 68-year-old veteran, was traveling by bus from St. Albans to Bennington, returning home after visiting relatives. Fellow passengers recalled seeing him sitting quietly near the back, reading a book. But when the bus pulled into Bennington, James was gone. His luggage was still in the overhead rack. His bus timetable sat on the seat, but Tedford himself had vanished. The driver swore the man had been on board earlier. Passengers confirmed it. Yet somehow, between the last stop and Bennington, James disappeared without anyone noticing. Investigators were baffled. To vanish from a moving bus, surrounded by witnesses, it bordered on the impossible. Chapter 4. Paul Jepson, 1950. Less than a year later, in October 1950, another disappearance shook the community. 8-year-old Paul Jepson was with his mother near a pig farm where she worked. She left him playing in the truck for a short time. When she returned, he was gone. Search teams and bloodhounds were brought in. The dogs picked up Paul's scent and followed it along a trail, the very same trail where Paula Welden had vanished just 4 years earlier. Then suddenly, the trail went cold. Paul's red jacket, eerily similar to Paula's red coat, made the case even stranger. Some locals whispered that the color red was cursed in the triangle. But whatever the truth, Paul was never seen again. Red disappeared in Bennington. Again. Chapter 5. Frida Langer, 1950. The last of the classic Bennington Triangle disappearances occurred only weeks later, October 1950. Frida Langer, 53 years old, was camping with family near the Somerset Reservoir. She was tough, outdoorsy, and experienced. On a hike with her cousin, she slipped crossing a stream, soaking her clothes. She told him she was turning back to change while he continued. When he returned to camp, Frida wasn't there. Again, a massive search began. Helicopters, divers, soldiers. But for months, there was nothing. Then, 7 months later, her body was discovered in an open area that had already been searched extensively. To this day, no explanation for how it appeared there or what killed her. Unlike the others, Frida's case ended with a body, but without answers. Theories: 5 disappearances in 5 years. An experienced hunter, a college student, a war veteran, a little boy, and a hiker. What connects them? Some point to the harsh terrain, steep mountains, sudden weather shifts, dangerous rivers. A slip or fall could mean death, with remains hidden by snow or forest. Others suggest a human hand. Could there have been a serial predator using the wilderness as cover? The lack of evidence makes it difficult to prove or disprove. And then there are stranger ideas. Some whisper UFOs, others time warps. Still others, a darker energy that defies explanation. The very term Bennington Triangle was inspired by the Bermuda Triangle, another place of inexplicable vanishings. Native American folklore adds another layer. Legends warn that the mountains around Glastonbury were cursed, and that people should not settle there. Coincidence? Or something more? From 1945 to 1950, 5 people disappeared in the same corner of Vermont. Only one was ever found. Was it nature, a hidden killer, or forces beyond our understanding? My name is Walter Graves. This has been Black Box Investigation.